Hello everyone, welcome to Conversations with Sakina. Today we are going to take a look at a missing persons case. And this particular case came from the YouTube channel, the Lenormand Detective. If you have not seen that, it's a new channel like my own. And she is doing missing persons cases, I think about one a month. So I wanted to take a look at her very first case and see what my Lenormand cards brought forth on that case. Just kind of experimental to see how close they are in what they're sharing. So I am talking about the case for Samantha Murphy. She apparently went missing on February 4th, 2024 in Ballarat, Australia. From my understanding, she went out for a run in a state forest and just never returned. She left her house, last seen on that Sunday morning, but she never returned. So the question that was asked by the Lenormand detective was, what happened to Samantha Murphy? And she charged the card house, the dog as the husband, because Lenormand decks usually only have two male and female cards. So she used the dog for the husband for loyalty, and then the man card as the third party, and then the woman card as Samantha. So these are the ones that we are going to really look closely at when we lay out the Lenormand cards. So these are charged. The house is Samantha's house, the dog is Samantha's husband, the man is a third party, and the woman is Samantha. And for those who are wondering, this is purely simple Lenormand. I created this myself, but I'm the only one who has a copy of this deck. So we'll get that out of the way. So what I'm going to do is put these four cards within the Lenormand deck and shuffle them up. Now that we know what they are. So put them in here. And then we'll lay out the Grand Tableau. If you hear some strange sounds in the background, I have a Chihuahua. His name is Sammy, and he really likes to snore while I am doing recording. So be prepared for a few little snores in there. Now, the purpose of this missing person case, as the Lenormand detective said, she is not psychic. I think we all are a bit psychic. However, she is using her channel as kind of a learning channel, learning how to read Lenormand well. And so I am just on the back there because I think what she is doing is very interesting, and I just kind of want to see how close the cards are from one reader to another. And I'm not a pro at Lenormand. So all right, so let's get started here, and I will speed this part up. Okay, so the Lenormand detective was doing the method of distance with her Grand Tableau, which is based on how close the cards are to the main person of the reading. And in this case, it would be Samantha. This would be considered her square or her rectangle, her layout of 9. So all of these are considered very close. She's right in the center. Near is anything outside of that. So we've got near would be here. And then anything outside of that is considered far. Okay, so first thing that I notice right off the bat, the cards that struck me, is the mice card in method of distance is something that says if it is close or in the very near vicinity of Samantha, it means that she will be found. And from what I read about this case, her body still has not been found, and and the police consider her deceased. That's what they're thinking. From my understanding, they also arrested someone, but there were no more details about that at all. So I'm looking at this mouse card as being she's not going to be found. And also the tree is very far away from her, and that tree is about her well-being. So between the two here, her well-being is lost. This is also a lost card, or a card of loss. We also have the key, which is the solution card, or where the answers come from. And we can see that that the coffin is right above that. And the coffin is ending, or endings. And it's also obviously a coffin. So it's sitting right on top of this solution. It is weighing down on this. Now, as we see, the third party is diagonal here. And next to her is the fox, and a fox is considered sneaky and untrustworthy. The fox always wants something from someone. Tricky, sneaky. And that is right above this third party person. She also has children, and those children are weighing on her mind quite heavily. I believe they had 3 children. Her husband and herself had 3 children, and she felt that children were difficult. Maybe, I have no idea what age these children were, but she probably loved them dearly, as most mothers do love their children. However, depending on their ages, they can really burden your soul, at least for a while. Now, I'm also seeing the marriage, or the ring, and this man. So what makes it makes me wonder if this man, or this third party, was an old beau, perhaps an old boyfriend, that maybe at one point in time they were engaged. But, she broke it off because she realized that, he was not a part of her life the way that she wished him to be, or she just hit a crossroads in life where that wasn't going to work for her, this relationship. And there was a lot of gossip going on, a lot of things that she was recognizing about this person, this third party, that showed him being not trustworthy, and a lot of gossip about that as well. And he had this third party had a lot of burdens of his own, and he was recognized as kind of a troublemaker, this third party. Now, if we look at the husband, he is, of course, under the house. Now, what I read did not share what kind of alibi he had, okay? But he's in the home, obviously. So nothing had changed there. And if we go across here, they are obviously connected with children, and they are also connected with the stork, which is change. So something was definitely changing between them. Or maybe they were changing house. Maybe they were moving or planning on moving for whatever reason. Now it looks like up here with the bear, the scythe, and the tower, the bear is heaviness, strength, But I think in this case, it's a heaviness because the scythe is something being cut, and the tower is an institution of some kind. So I'm thinking that, it was a difficult decision, very heavy on those at the police station to have to, I don't know, stop looking into the case, maybe to cut the manpower, so to speak, because it's been a couple of months and there's been no change, so to speak. Nobody found. She hasn't been found as yet. And with the fate line here, these last 4 cards, I call it the fate line. Some, as she mentioned, call it the bottom line. And I'm seeing a letter, which is news or information, the ship, travel, the anchor, something solid, and then the book is hidden things. So it makes me wonder if the information that no one has, okay, the information that perhaps the cards or spirit or even Samantha herself, if she's in spirit, are trying to share here, is we have 2 cards here that are based on water. I don't know if there's a body of water that perhaps she was taken out to somewhere on the water and dropped like an anchor, and that is the hidden information that nobody has or that has not been uncovered. Now that's just a guess, of course, on my part. It's how I feel like the cards are reading for me. And again, this is all connected, from the coffin to key to this line here is all connected. Now, interestingly enough, if we knight, like you would knight with the knight in chess, if we knight, the husband and this third party person are knighted. Somehow these 2 were connected. And this could just be in the fact that this ring goes this way and this way. They're both connected that way. So it just might mean that she was engaged at one time to both of them. Not at the same time, obviously, but, that was the connection. I also feel as though, if you look at the 4 corner cards, I feel as though somebody very strong had an opportunity, knowing that she left her house at a certain time on a certain day, maybe every day, and they took advantage of that opportunity, knowing that she would be going into the state park on her run. And the mountain also means enemy. And as you can see, he is looking right at that mountain as though he was the enemy, this third party person. We also need to look at these 4 center cards. We have the garden, we have the ring, we have the lily, and we have the ways. So we have the garden, just a beautiful place to be. Perhaps she was proposed to in this garden. This is a beautiful, beautiful thing, or it can also include family. And then we have the crossroads. So again, we have, her connected with this third party somehow. And these are considered near cards. There was love there once. Actually something quite beautiful. But then we started recognizing, who this person actually was, and she had to go a different direction. And you can see her looking at the different direction. And the lily is also a family card, or considered family. So she had to consider a different way to go with family and who she would marry, who she would love, where she would marry. who she would have kids with. So going back one more time to the fate line here, as we see, it's under the solution key, and that key is over top of the letter. And this is, again, news, but I'm going to look at it right now as a kind of communication from her. She has gone elsewhere, and she is there to stay. This is the secret that nobody seems willing to look at. And as we see, we've got the burdens are on the book card, but you can look at this also as, the cross on a cemetery stone. Very clearly here, we have, again, this third party. He's right underneath the sneaky, untrustworthy fox. He's looking at the enemy card. He's obviously got a lot of baggage, so to speak, a lot of burdens. And his reputation is that. So it's not like he's unknown that way. But he is very much not exactly what is termed the best element. And I'm saying he, but again, this is the third party. I'm just speculating that he was someone she was once engaged to. So there's probably a lot more that can come from these Lenormand cards from a more seasoned reader. But I do believe that even though the cards are different from what the Lenormand detective had, they aren't so different, because we do still have this third party, as in hers. They were side by side, but this third party is still in this 9-card area, which is her very near in a method of distance. I do believe the fox was real close as well in her reading. Could be mistaken on that, but I think that's the way it was. So, just an overall here, I'm going to say that this third party person is the one, and that the husband is connected, but again, I think it's more along the lines of the ring, that they were both engaged to her, and he ended up marrying her. I also feel like he can be knighted with the star, and I kind of feel like this is on a more spiritual level. It was destined to be this way. Okay, so with her, we can also knight her to her husband. We can knight her to the garden. We can knight her to the heart. And we can knight her to the mountain, which again is enemy or obstacles. So with this knighting, obviously, she's connected to her husband. She's very social. She's in love, but she has an enemy. And again, being side by side, and there was a change, here. Her husband is standing on top of change and in her row. And the change is standing on the obstacle. So he might have felt like something was changing. There's a lot of gossip going on here. Again, just speculation here. So I think, like I said, this is very close to what the Lenormand detective had in her Grand Tableau as well, that the third party was the one responsible. And I do believe that she felt that Samantha was no longer alive either. Now, the article that I read stated that the police did not believe that she was still alive. And again, we're sitting here, with the coffin and, the solution. So it is very possible that that is the way that it is. It would be hoped to not, obviously, by me and anyone who, is a part of this case. It would be nice to find her alive. But that is not what the cards are showing. So I believe that is it. If you have any takes or any lessons you can teach me, if you're a Lenormand reader, of what I might have missed in these cards, please feel free to leave that in the comments below. It would be appreciated. Thank you for watching, and please go over and take a look at the Lenormand Detectives channel. I've put a link for her channel in the description box below. I believe that is it. Take care.